Hi, my name is Michael Bolden. I'm the founder and executive director of the 10th Amendment Center. You can find us online at 10thamendmentcenter.com. This week we're back on the road again with the Nullify Now tour. This is phase 2 of the tour that started last fall, and we had 3 great dates in Fort Worth, Texas, Orlando, Florida, and Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're on our way with Nullify Now this Saturday, the 29th, to Phoenix, Arizona, with some amazing speakers. Gary Johnson, Stuart Rhodes of Oath Keepers, Sheriff Richard Mack, and many others will be taking part in this great event. Robert Scott Bell, Art Thompson, Scott Kennedy, and I'll even take a couple of minutes and chat with you too. We're off to a number of cities in 2011. We've got a half dozen planned already, and we're working on about 10 or 12 more. In March, we'll be in Cincinnati on the 5th, in Manchester, New Hampshire on the 19th. In April, Minneapolis, Twin Cities actually, St. Paul on April 2nd, Austin, Texas on the 16th. We've got a tentative date on the 30th, and then in Los Angeles near the end of May. People ask me all the time, well, what's this Nullify Now tour all about? And it's really Thomas Jefferson's answer to the essential question. When government violates the rules given to it, what do we do about it? And here in the United States, the rules given to the federal government are in the Constitution, which codifies in law that we, the people of the several states, created the federal government to be our agent for certain enumerated purposes and nothing more. And the question needs to be asked. When the government violates those rules, like it does all the time, what do we do about it? Well, for over a century, if not longer, we, the people, have been doing just about the same thing over and over again when the government violates the Constitution. We march on D.C. and we ask or demand or yell and say, Congress, you need to limit the powers of Congress. Or maybe we'll go to a federal court and we'll go to a federal judge in the hopes that this federal judge is going to limit federal power. Or every few years we vote some bums out in the hopes that the new bums come in and say, all this power that you guys have passed on from the last people, well, we don't really want it, and you can have it back. Well, to anyone's surprise, going to the federal government to fix problems created by the federal government is not working. It just doesn't work, and it doesn't matter what political party's in power or what individual is in the White House as president. Federal power constantly grows, year in and year out, and your liberty is less and less. So the question remains, what do we do about it? Well, if you're watching this video and you've already heard me talk for a couple of minutes, maybe we need to nullify now. This is Thomas Jefferson's remedy back in 1798. In response to the Alien and Sedition Acts, he penned the Kentucky Resolutions. And I can paraphrase, he basically said, whensoever the general government assumes undelegated powers, a nullification of the act is the rightful remedy. A nullification of the act is the rightful remedy. Thomas Jefferson, who I think gives pretty good advice on standing up for liberty, didn't recommend that we, march on D.C. and then nullify. Or march on D.C. and then sue in the courts and then nullify. Or maybe vote some bums out and then maybe nullify then. He said, every single time the federal government assumes undelegated powers, does stuff it's not supposed to be doing, it's our duty to stand up and resist those breaches of power, those violations of our liberty in our states as they happen. We're not supposed to wait 2 or 4 years or 6 years or however long it takes for some black-robed judge, unelected, unaccountable, politically connected lawyer on the Supreme Court to tell us that we can exercise our rights. We're not supposed to wait for some new crop of politicians or a different political party to come along to give us permission to exercise our rights. We're supposed to exercise our rights whether they, the government, want to give us permission to or not. And that's what the Nullify Now tour is all about. It's about reasserting the proper system of government in this country. Local self-government. And that's the best way to ensure liberty. I mean, if you think about it, the founders created a pretty good system. We've got a country with, and even at the time, if we keep things in perspective, we've got a country with a huge range of political, economic, religious viewpoints. And one-size-fits-all solutions just ensure that we've got a low-grade civil war happening basically every 4 years, with one side or the other trying to control the entire country and force their viewpoint on everybody. Again, this is not working, and government is getting worse and worse every single year. So decentralizing, allowing one state to have one policy and another state to have another, well, this is the only way, the absolute only way that we can have these widely ranging political viewpoints all living together under, I guess, a big defense umbrella in peace. And this is what Nullify Now is all about. Looking at Washington, D.C., it's pretty straightforward. If you compare it to the Constitution that the founders gave us, not the one that the Supreme Court has twisted it into being, it violates the Constitution almost constantly. And if we, the people in our states, get a little bit of courage and start standing up and saying no to Washington, D.C. when it does this. It may be on just an issue that's important to you today, but it's going to be on a different issue that's important to you or someone else tomorrow in another location. And this, we believe, this is the best path to expanding freedom in this country. And I don't want to ramble on and on too long about this, but I hope those of you in the cities that we're visiting will take a few minutes or a few hours out of a Saturday in the near future and visit us. The website's nullifynow.com. And even if we're not coming to your area, there's links near the top right that you can, it's a drop-down menu. It says not in your area. Click that and let us know that you want us to come to your city. We're working on a bunch of different places, but it's essential to know that you want us to be there. Or if you work with a group and are interested in sponsoring or hosting, we need to know about it. So let's take action. Let's work together in a very decentralized manner and make things happen for the cause of liberty. Again, the website's nullifynow.com for the events, and of course, you can visit our website for the 10th Amendment Center anytime at 10thamendmentcenter.com. Thank you.